Hey, so this is going to be the first of a little series I'm going to do where I just take a question that comes up a lot in climate change debates, try to break it down, find the original research behind it, maybe talk about what the original author had said about how their work has been kind of interpreted or characterized, and then I'll let you draw your own conclusions. So I'm setting my alarm here. I'm going to try to do this in 5 minutes or less. The question that I'm going to talk about right now is one that comes up quite a bit, and I think it's actually probably a very fair question overall. And isn't carbon dioxide beneficial for the planet? So, like me, you would know that plants use carbon dioxide, solar energy, and water to produce their own food and to grow. So, you would naturally draw the conclusion, I think fairly draw the conclusion, that you would experience a global greening effect with the amount of carbon dioxide that's being pumped into the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution. Let's go back one. And that is what's being found. So a article came out last year from Elliot Campbell, who is a research scientist with the University of California in Santa Cruz. The crux of the paper basically said that plants are converting about 30 to 31% more carbon dioxide into organic matter than they were before the Industrial Revolution. So what does this mean? As we pump more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, forests have grown, areas have kind of greened that weren't green before, and you would expect there's this degree of homeostasis that nature has. We pump more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, nature absorbs a lot more. This article has been cited a lot by climate change skeptics, and I think fairly so. I understand how that work is being interpreted, but Elliot Campbell, even the chief scientist behind this paper, has come out and responded to how they feel their work has been mischaracterized. And then a host of other botanists and environmental scientists have talked about it as well. So let's see what the counter arguments are. 1. Differences in carbon dioxide concentrations essentially disrupt ecosystems. You have this state of balance in ecosystems where some plants are more reliant on carbon dioxide than others. As soon as you increase the level of CO2, those that benefit are going to dwarf and outcompete the smaller plants. The one exception to this would be artificial ecosystems, monocultures, crops, and this is something that is kind of brought up by climate change skeptics as a pretty positive anecdote about the potential benefits of having more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We'll get more crops. There's a counter argument, and that is that extra carbon dioxide actually makes plants less nutritious. En masse, overall, plants absorb less potassium, copper, and nitrogen, both in natural and in controlled environments when they are exposed to more CO2. The reason for this, CO2 also builds up the energy and the metabolism of soil microbes, which are competing for the same nutrients. Next argument, this is a very important one, but too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere disrupts the acidity of oceans. So when carbon dioxide mixes with seawater, it forms carbonic acid, and this changes pH levels. The ocean is naturally alkaline, but with increases in CO2, what's being found is that coral reefs are struggling to form the skeletons for coral, and shellfish are struggling to form their shells. Coral reefs are extremely important for just managing overall ocean health and well-being. 0.2% of the global surface area for oceans, I think, is represented by coral reefs, whereas 30% of marine fauna actually live in coral reefs. So you can't underestimate the value of these ecosystems. Last, and this is the argument I believe that Elliot Campbell even responded to the mischaracterization of their study with, and that's that more plants right now at the current rate is not preventing climate change. We could potentially get to that point, but en masse, even with this increase of photosynthesis, plants are still only absorbing about 25%. A quarter of the carbon dioxide we're putting into the atmosphere every year. That leaves about 20 to 30 billion tons of carbon dioxide that are not being absorbed. Not a small number. All right, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's it for this video. I would be more than happy to do one pretty much on any question you can come up in this kind of general area for me. So leave a comment or just send me a personal message if you're curious. I have a few other topics I'm going to talk about. One is how come we're doing anything about carbon dioxide in the atmosphere when humans are only contributing 3%. Sounds pretty marginal. I'm also going to do one on why glaciers and icebergs are currently growing in some areas. Aside from that, my organization does lots of conferences on sustainability. We do workshops on corporate social responsibility. I'm working on a renewable energy management course right now that we're going to be selling at some universities, so I'd be happy to talk to you about that. And I will see you at the next video or in person. Okay, see ya.